Hey guys, just want to talk to you today about the process of the promises of God for you. The Bible is filled with all kinds of promises and blessings God has for us. So, how do we go about getting these things? And so today I just want to talk about the birthing of a promise. So, has God placed a promise inside of you? Are you believing for a promise that is in His Word? Are you frustrated? Are you giving up on your promise because you haven't seen it come to fulfillment yet? And so I just want to talk about this. So first off, how do you know that you have a promise from God? This is one way to tell. When you're around other believers who have a promise from God, also placed inside of them, it will resonate with their spirit, and it'll resonate with your spirit as well. So something inside of you will leap within your spirit and also within their spirit whenever you talk about it. So we're going to talk about Matthew chapter 1, verses 39 through 44. This is talking about Mary when she just receives the conception of Jesus inside of her, and then she's going to her cousin Elizabeth's house. So we'll read this. 39 says, "Now Mary arose in those days and went into the hill country with haste to a city of Judah, and entered the house of Zacharias and greeted Elizabeth," which is her cousin. "And it happened when Elizabeth heard the greeting of Mary that the baby inside of her, it leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. Then she spoke out with a loud voice and said, 'Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. But why is this granted to me, that the mother of my Lord should come to me? For indeed, as soon as the voice of your greeting sounded in my ears, the babe leaped inside of my womb for joy.'" So when you hear another believer or a man or woman of God speak about something that you have been promised, maybe it's a calling, it's a family member come to be saved, marriage, finances, maybe it's just a blessing from God that He has promised you, and you feel when you feel something inside of you leap, then you know that you've been given a conceived promise. So why do I say conceived promise? Well, because it's conceived, but it's not yet birthed. So there's a difference. See, there's a process for it to be birthed or to be brought forth. And so just because it's been conceived, it doesn't mean that it'll be birthed. And you say, well, why? Because if you don't allow the process of the birthing to happen, it'll be aborted and it'll never happen, and it will remain in your belly and it'll just die. So it's the process. The process is, at first you can't see the promise because it's just been conceived inside of you, and because it's inside of you, the world they can't see it, and so nobody else can see it except for you. Nobody can feel it except for you because it's inside of you. It's still conceived. So only you can feel it because only you know it's there. Other people, they may not believe you, or they may be skeptical. They may be haters. They may not believe what you're saying. In this stage, there's usually a nauseousness that happens in early pregnancies. So in this stage of your promise, there may be some nauseousness from all the other people that can't see your promise, but you can feel it. And so because they can't see it or feel it, they might this might make you sick because they may say things against it or whatever it is. Also the nauseousness, it comes from the changes taking place inside of you. Things begin to change inside of a mother that's in the early stages of pregnancy. The same thing begins to happen inside of you. Then in the next stage, it starts to develop inside of you, but it still hasn't come yet. A baby can be seen with an ultrasound, but it still hasn't come yet. Okay, so God may start to give you a picture of the promise, but it's not time for the promise yet. He may give you a little taste of that gifting. He may bring that person into your life. He may begin to open a door for a job, for finances, whatever it is, but the time's not yet. Okay. The next stage is when you start to stretch more and more, and this is uncomfortable, but it's part of the process. A woman, she begins to stretch. It gets uncomfortable at times, but this is part of the process. You may start to step into the phase of making room for the promise or the blessing in you and in your life. God may begin to ask you to do things that require more faith, or to step out and learn that new gift, maybe it's a gift of healing, prophecy, whatever it is, or maybe it's a blessing, stepping into this thing. Maybe it's a gift of the Holy Spirit, or he may be asked for your character to be changed or shaped or molded in order for you to be ready for this new addition that's coming. You may feel like you're going in the wrong direction because you've trusted God, but things seem to be just getting worse. But really, you're getting closer if you don't give up. Okay, if you give up, you abort it. So don't give up. Along the way, you get to hear the heartbeat of the promise. Just the mother at times through the ultrasounds gets to hear the heartbeat. Also, and that makes you get excited, and even you may feel it kick inside of you. It's trying to tell you that, hey, this really is a part of you, and it's also a part of your future. Then right there before birth, right before the birth of your promise or blessing or calling, that's where you're going to experience the most pain, is in delivery. So as with a natural birth, you need the aid of a doctor, which would be the Holy Spirit, to help bring, this baby, this promise, this blessing into existence. So, when it's finally born, also, when it finally does come, it's going to need a lot of attention. It's going to need a lot of caring to grow into something that can mature. You have to allow the process. If you have to allow the process, or else you'll abort it. And also through this process, you have to allow the process, and you also have to get close to the aid, the doctor. Through this process, this pregnancy, a woman's usually always close to her personal doctor. Well, you have to be close to the Holy Spirit so he can lead you, guide you, give you the right advice, tell you what to do, what not to do, and so he can help you in the attainment of this promise. So I just want to encourage you, don't give up. Stay close to the doctor, the aid that's going to help you birth this promise, and also allow the process to happen. At times it may not feel good, but in the end, you'll see your promise and it'll be worth it.